His name was Arthur Felig, but he was better known as Ouija. Someone who would have recognized him was a gifted teenage photographer from the Bronx. His name was Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick grew up on the other side of the Bronx from Jake LaMossa's place on Pelham Parkway. He became a lifelong boxing fan, as well as a dedicated photographer, and the two passions would eventually come together. In 1950, he shot some astonishingly intimate photographs of heavyweight champion Rocky Graziano. But it was a spread for Look magazine on an up-and-coming contender called Walter Cartier that gave him an idea. Could he make a film about this photogenic middleweight?
This is the story of a fight and of a fighter. Walter Cartier. Today is the fight.
It's a documentary, but, you know, in terms of like what fight films were in that post-war era, like the first 10, 15 years after World War II, it captured all the classic intersections between noir and boxing.
It's a long way until night.
And it had that notion of boxing just being, you know, the ultimate matador sport where it's just you. You can't rely on anybody.
A few moments are left. He can almost hear the commissioner coming down the hall to call him.
You know, once in the Kubrick movie, when it started describing how he's morphing into someone else.
Walter is slowly becoming another man. This is the man who cannot lose, who must not lose.
You could see, this guy's a murder machine.
The documentary was just the catalyst that the ambitious Kubrick needed to launch his career as a serious movie maker. Kubrick's first feature film was an art house war flick called Fear and Desire. It failed, he tried to bury it. He needed something more commercial, a genre picture maybe, something noirish that married murder and boxing might get him noticed. The result was Killer's Kiss. Even before writing the script, Kubrick methodically put together a checklist of what he thought would sell the flick. A boxing match, a dancehall seduction, a rooftop chase. The story which materialized was one long flashback, bookended by a boxer anxiously waiting for his lover so they can both flee New York City.
Anyway, I think that's the way it began for me. Just before my fight with Rodriguez 3 days ago.
As the picture dissolves into the past, the plot which emerges is one where the boxer and a dimer dance girl are drawn together as she tries to shake off the attentions of a sleazy dancehall manager.
Oh, you foolish girl. I'm mad about you. I want to get you out of here. I'll set you up right. I'll be your slave for the rest of my life.
Nothing. You couldn't do anything for me.
Please. All right, don't forgive me. Just tolerate me.
And in the process of telling that tale, Kubrick also creates his own intriguing take on film noir.
Killer's Kiss was one of the most gorgeous films I've ever seen. It was an anonymous actor playing an anonymous boxer, living out of a suitcase, all alone in the world. It's about the isolation. The same thing as like a private eye. I mean, you're all alone, you're a private eye. You have a shabby office with a bottle of scotch in the bottom drawer, and you know, your life amounts to nothing. You're living in a flea bag hotel. I mean, and the boxer is a variation on that.
Kubrick shot the film himself, as these wonderful on-location photographs taken by his assistant director Alexander Singer suggest. Kubrick was fastidious in capturing the people and the Manhattan he already knew intimately from his time as a documentary photographer. Given the movie's noirish flavour, the finale should have found the boxer jilted by his lover. But this was to be Kubrick's calling card to the Hollywood studios, who would expect a happy ending. His plan worked. Kubrick sold the film to United Artists and persuaded the studio to bankroll another 2 features. He was now a Hollywood contender.